Akushu, Kote, Tori. We have two techniques for this, our basic technique and the variation, neither of which are the traditional techniques, so I will also go over that. So this will have three different variations of this technique. To help me with this, I'm using the belt that I usually use in the videos. And I've taken two short sticks. I actually got these from plungers. It's an easy way to get a half length stick that's about half the length of a broom. Tape them to the belt, just a single piece of tape at each end, to try to create an arm, or the semblance of an arm. One end of the belt, I put a double knot. That's the end that's going to be where the hand is. I'll slide a glove over that for demonstrative purposes, but you don't have to do that. But I did do a double knot just to have something firm to hold on to, because this is going to be from a handshake. I'll put the first stick right at the end of that. That's going to be right where the wrist is. This is your forearm. There's a little joint for the elbow, and then there's the upper arm. I'll put a single knot on the other end because I'm going to put it in the door frame, and I don't want it to slip out. And I didn't put it right at the very end, but pretty close. I didn't go all the way to the end of the belt. I want a little slack here where the shoulder is. Then I'm going to put it through the door, whatever height you want. I'm going to put it at my own shoulder height. But if you want to do it higher or lower for different heights, you can do that. Put it to the door, close the door, now make sure the door doesn't move. There we go. Got your shoulder, bicep and tricep, elbow joint, forearm, and the hand. So these techniques are from a handshake. I use a glove, and I'll slip it over that double knot. Again, you can do it without that, but just for the video's sake, I will do it just so you can get a sense of this is going to be a handshake. So this is going to be their right arm. So this is their body, and their left arm is over on this far side. I'm shaking their right hand with my right hand. See the thumb coming up, and here we are, shaking hands. Our basic version of this is I'm going to turn their palm up. I turn my palm down, which turns their palm up. As I do that, I'm going to reinforce. I put my other hand on the back of their hand, and I step in, driving my shoulder into their forearm. It's going to have the effect of doing this. If you're doing it to me, it turns my hand up, and it's going to torque my elbow driving through, and you can see how I'm kind of coming up, my weight's coming off that front leg close to my hand. It's going to turn my arm up and lift me off my foot. Turn their palm up, reinforce, stepping through with the leg closest to them as I drive my shoulder on my arm right against their forearm to create that arcing motion. Step through nice and deep, right in front of them. Then I'm going to drop my head as far as I can and slide that forearm across my shoulder line. Biggest mistake people make here is they get a nice tight lock here, and then they let the arm back to pass it behind their head. I'm not strong at this point, and they're just going to pull their hand back and be standing behind me. I need to keep pressure on that forearm and elbow all the way through. So I got a nice tension here, and I need to drop my head to keep tension so at any point along my shoulder line I can break that elbow, not lifting the arm around my head. Stepping in and through, drop my head. As I shift, I switch my feet. My feet are pointing one way, and they both switch and point the other way. As I slide. Slide and shift. From here, inside leg can step down and break. Or if you prefer, step through and break. Turning their palm up, reinforcing, putting my other hand behind theirs, stepping across in front of them as I drive my arm and shoulder into the back of their forearm. Drop my head, Slide it across my shoulder lines as I switch the directions of my feet. And then either step back and pull down, or step through and pull down. You're doing that to me. My arm's coming through, lifting me off my weight. The arm slides across. Now it's bent behind. You're pulling straight down. It's either going to break the wrist, elbow, and or shoulder, or drop me straight down to the ground. Usually we just go with it and relax, and I'm taking a fall. But if I don't go with it, you can snap and just tear out that shoulder, elbow, and wrist. You can go side to side. You can put a glove on if you want, or just take it off and just hold the knot now. Now you can imagine I'm on the other side. Now it's their left hand, their right arm is over there, their body is where the door is. Again, I turn their palm up, I reinforce with my other hand, step through with the leg that's closest to them, driving my shoulder into the back of their forearm. Drop my head, slide it across my shoulder line as I switch the direction my feet are facing. Either step back and break, or step through with the other leg and break. That's our basic technique. We used to have 3 variations of this. We only have 2 now. The one that was removed was just the direction in which we're moving. Right now what I do is if we're facing each other, I step through in front of you. We also had a version where I would actually step around the opposite direction. Technique is the same. I'm still turning your palm up, reinforcing, stepping in, and putting my forearm and shoulder against the, my shoulder against the back of your forearm. The difference is instead of stepping across the front, I'm going to pivot around to the back, still dropping my head, sliding your arm across my shoulder line as I keep the tension on, and then breaking. So in one case, we're facing each other, I go across the front of your body and break. The other case, I lock it in and step around the opposite way and break. Why do I go 2 different directions? It might be the space that you have available, but I think primarily it's about having multiple attackers. If I'm grabbing this person's right hand, this is their body, that's their left hand, and there's another attacker over on this side to their left or to my right, anywhere in this range. I don't want to step through here, turn my back to this person, and be between 2 different attackers. I want to use the person that I have control of as my shield. So I would step around behind them to have control of their arm and use them as a shield between me and the other person. Conversely, same person, same relative position, right arm, left arm, this door is their body. Now the other attacker is over on this side, either behind the other person or to my left. I don't want to turn this way and face them and be between them both. I want to go across the front, get my lock, and use this person as a shield between me and the other. So you can go either direction. Currently, our technique is going across the front, but you can go either direction. Either across the front or around the back. All right, our variation. Actually, I'm going to go over the traditional technique first, and then I'm going to go over the variation. The traditional technique is simply the wrist breaker, also known as Kote. I'm holding hands with someone, handshake. To release, I'm going to slide my thumb down the bone on my arm, underneath their thumb, and pry the thumb off. Pry the thumb off, which releases their grip. I let go, I come around behind the glove, reinforce, and break. Akushu, Kote, Tori. Akushu, handshake. Kote is the glove or gauntlet, or really the body part that's covered by the glove and gauntlet, which is the hand and wrist, and then Tori is break or hold. In this case, it's a break, or also known as Kote, glove return, which is a nice way of saying wrist break. when I have the glove, it's just like a wrist escape. If you and I are standing square with each other and we're shaking hands, again reaching across our center line, if I'm here peeling that thumb and then going in for the break, you're probably going to try to punch me in the head with your free hand when you see me messing with your thumb or trying to break your thumb or your wrist. So I want to get off line and get away from that free hand. I'm going to step towards the hand that I'm trying to attack. So as I do that thumb break or thumb release, I'm going to step in that direction. Once I free the hand, come around behind to reinforce, I'm going to step through again as I break it. The position of the hand that I'm holding, when I've got the hand and I peel that thumb off, I'm grabbing the meat of the hand on one side, come around and grab the meat of the hand on the other. And then my thumbs are on the back of the hand to reinforce. So I'm grabbing the meat of the hand on each side with my fingers and my thumbs on the back of the hand to reinforce. Stepping towards it, peel, grab the meat, release, come around, grab the meat on the other side, my thumbs are behind to reinforce, and then I step through with the other leg as I bend the wrist backward to break. Again, go in the other direction. As I peel that thumb off, I'm going to step in that direction away from the free hand, reinforce, and step through to break. That is the traditional version of Akushu, Kote, Tori. Our variation of this technique is similar. It starts the same. I'm going to break that thumb, and then instead of just breaking here, I'm going to start getting that pressure, and then I'm going to let go and reach all the way underneath the forearm, wrap around, and break. It's going to look like this. Shaking the right hand, left hand over here. This door is the body. Step through it and release the thumb. Step underneath. I start to do Kote Gesh or Akushu Kote Tori, and then I reach underneath, all the way under the forearm, grabbing the wrist from underneath and breaking this way, reinforcing with the other hand. Again, go in the other direction. Release that thumb. Start to go into Akushu Kote Tori. Once I get enough pressure to get them off balance, I let go. I reach all the way underneath the forearm and put pressure on the hand from the other side. Reinforce, step through, and break. I also like to put my inside leg on the back of the knee and push, but that's optional. Again, from the handshake, pry the thumb, set up that break. Then you're going to go underneath with the hand closest to them, underneath their forearm, and grab the hand from the back side. Come all the way underneath and put pressure coming down on the wrist. Coming under here, you go underneath and you put pressure on the hand going down. Thumb break, Kote Gesh, all the way underneath and wrap and break. Other side, thumb break, Kote Gesh, all the way underneath, put pressure on the other side and break. Akushu Kote Tori.